Happy New Year, everybody. It is now 2026. If you're watching this on New Year, Happy New Year to you. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good day so far, and hope everybody has a very good 2026. But we are here to talk about some LSU football because, LSU is pretty heavily targeting the transfer portal. Typical Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin always hits the transfer portal for a quarterback and succeeds at a very high rate doing it. I believe there's a new favorite in town. I believe there's a new favorite for the LSU quarterback position based off of what I'm hearing right now. See, none of this is confirmed yet, and I'll get to that in a second, but I've heard from multiple people and I've seen at multiple different outlets that this is looking more and more like what Lane Kiffin wants at quarterback. So let's start. Obviously, you bring in Lane Kiffin in the offseason. He's brought in an incredible staff, which I'm going to break down on another video. Incredible staff. And you're looking for a quarterback because there's not really a very capable quarterback over at LSU right now. I don't trust Michael Van Buren to come in and win you a national championship when that is the hope. Like that is the you're setting yourself you're setting yourself to a pretty high standard when you bring in Lane Kiffin, and I think that standard is to go out and win a national championship. I don't think you're going to do that with Michael Van Buren. So, like I said, Lane Kiffin's going to go out. He's going to target a transfer portal quarterback like we usually do. And the new favorite in town, I believe, is Brennan Sorsby. So for a little bit, it did seem like Brennan Sorsby was like almost a lock to Texas Tech, and he still may be. I don't know. I know there is some significant other over at Texas Tech for Brennan Sorsby that we know how that goes with college football players. We saw it with Carson Beck. We saw it with some others as well. Wherever your other person goes, the odds that you follow, if the opportunity is there and is right, pretty high. So it wouldn't shock me if Brendan Sorsby still does end up at Texas Tech. But based off of what we're hearing right now, based off of all the reports going around, Lane Kiffin and LSU are heavily targeting Brendan Sorsby. He may even be up there as the number one target. Now, I think Brendan Sorsby, I think he's a very good quarterback. And this is a guy who I think if you do put him in a Lane Kiffin system, you're going to maximize what you get out of him. And there was a stretch during this last season, the 2025 season, where Brennan Sorsby was a top 10 quarterback in the entire country up until that Utah game when they went and played Utah. In Utah, he had a rough game there and then kind of finished the rest of the season on a shaky note. Outside of that, there was, like I said, there was a point in time where Brennan Sorsby was a legitimate top 10 quarterback in the country. Like that he was getting a lot of first round draft hype buzz or hype for a little bit. There was a lot of buzz going around saying that he's probably going to be a first rounder. And then like I said, that Utah game came around and kind of plummeted his stock after that because he didn't finish the season on a hot note. Now, is Cincinnati the greatest place to develop a quarterback or the greatest place for a quarterback to develop? I I don't think it's worst, but I think Lane Kiffin is one of the best. So if you're Brendan Sorsby, I think if LSU offers, you kind of have to at least look at it. I don't think if LSU was in the mix, I don't think there's a single lock to Texas Tech. I think if LSU offers Brendan Sorsby and they show that they really want him over these other guys, then I think you're gonna get him. I think you have very good odds at getting your guy if you're Lane Kiffin. It sounds like Lane Kiffin wants Brendan Sorsby. Now the next one. This is my personal favorite quarterback in the transfer portal was that Sam Leavitt. Now I think Sam Leavitt and a Lane Kiffin offense would be similar to what we saw with Jackson Dart with maybe a higher ceiling in college. So Sam Leavitt, he was a guy he obviously took Arizona State to the playoffs last year. Um, he looked good this season when he played. Looked very good this season when he played. Dealt with some injuries, so that definitely did affect his numbers. If you are a numbers person and you go check his numbers, they might not jump out to you because yeah, he did miss some games due to injury. But yeah, he's in the transfer portal. He's probably the most notable name in the transfer portal at the quarterback position, and I think it would be a slam dunk get if you can go out and get Sam Leavitt. Like I'd say he's going to receive the most money out of anybody in the transfer portal. Now, LSU has the money to give. They have the money to hand out to him. Now, it's just who would you rather, Sam Leavitt or Brennan Sorsby? Right now, it seems like Brennan Sorsby. Originally, it seemed like Sam Leavitt. And I will say, I'll confirm there that Sam Leavitt is definitely in play. If Brennan Sorsby falls through, it would shock me if Sam Leavitt didn't end up at LSU, bearing some other situations that we'll talk about in a little bit with another guy, which I think you might know who I'm talking about. But yeah, man, Sam Leavitt, like I said, he reminds me kind of of Jackson Dart with his play style. Like Levitt's a guy who he'll lower the shoulder on you. He's not that big of a guy. He's about the same size as Dart, a little bit lighter. He'll lower his shoulder on you. He'll make plays with his legs like we saw a lot this season. They were one of the only teams, or the only team, to beat Texas Tech this year. And a lot of that was Sam Leavitt using his legs. And like you can't underestimate what he could do through the air as well. This guy ain't like he's not a guy who could just go out and use his legs. When I say he's like similar to Jackson Dart in my eyes, he's a more polished college version of Jackson Dart. I guess it's fair to say. So I think you're probably only gonna have him for 1 year because this is another guy who he was supposed to go in the first round and then injuries kind of hurt that, so he will be back. And if he does land at LSU under this Lane Kiffin offense, seeing how Lane Kiffin's able to develop these quarterbacks, Sam Levitt's probably going to be one of the top guys taken in the draft next year. I think he could very much have a case to be the number one pick as well. I think his ceiling is that high, and you haven't even seen the very tip of it yet. So the next one is DJ Lagway. I'll also confirm here there is some interest. Now, I think a lot of LSU fans are going to shy away from this one, and I don't really blame you because like I said, you're setting yourself to a national championship standard. Are you really going to go out and get a guy like DJ Lagway to lead this team when, like I've said multiple times, your standard is to go win a national championship? Right now, I don't think DJ Lagway could win a national championship quite yet. Now, one thing I will say, if you do end up with Lagway, there's nobody that I trust more to help him and fix him than Lane Kiffin. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it several times in the past. We've never seen a very bad quarterback under Lane Kiffin, to be honest. Like as of late, or at least at Ole Miss, like none of them were bad. They were all at least good. You would consider them good quarterbacks. You could look at Austin Simmons. Wasn't amazing. Like didn't look the sharpest in his first few starts at Ole Miss. Still looked like a good quarterback. I think DJ Lagway, if you look at his ceiling, DJ Lagway's ceiling is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And you surround him with all these weapons at Ole Miss or LSU, I'm sorry. I think you're getting something there. You're getting something there. Like I said, a lot of fixing to do, but Lane Kiffin probably looks at this. Charlie Weiss probably looks at this and says, I can fix him. I can fix him. Because DJ Lagway is going to have a big market. He's going to cost a pretty penny. Do you want to pay a guy like DJ Lagway the amount that he's going to be kind of demanding, I guess? I don't know. I don't know when there's other options like Brennan Sorsby. I don't know when there's other options like Sam Leavitt. I think if there's guys like this in the portal right now, you go out and make that splash. You keep DJ Lagway as you keep him as an option. I personally think DJ Lagway is going to end up at Baylor. I mean, he's from Texas, but that's another one. If you're DJ and LSU calls you up, it's kind of hard to turn it down, especially knowing that you could probably turn around your career like fairly quickly with Lane Kiffin and Baton Rouge. So DJ Lagway is a very interesting one to me. Very, very interesting. I think you could fix him. I think Lane Kiffin could fix him. I don't think it's the safest route right now. It's definitely one of the more risky routes. Now the last one. He's not in the transfer portal yet, and that's Trinidad Chambliss. So I mean, they're still in the college football playoffs right now. Everybody knows that. I'm sure there's some Ole Miss fans watching this, curious to see what Lane Kiffin will do in the transfer portal. And yes, I do have to throw Trinidad Chambliss on this list for obvious reasons. Now, now, does he enter the portal? I think it depends on what they do in the playoffs. I think it depends on a lot of what they do in the playoffs. My screen keeps freezing. Sorry, I keep Sorry about that. I had some camera issues. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Does Trinidad Chambliss leave Ole Miss if he can really? I mean, I think it depends on who they hire at coordinator, at offensive coordinator. But I think they may have already actually hired an offensive coordinator. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyways, Trinidad Chambliss, does he leave? Does he stay? I don't know. Seems like he's probably gonna leave and wants to follow Lane Kiffin. But if they go to like the semifinals or something in the college football playoffs, do you consider staying at Ole Miss? First off, Trinidad Chambliss, he's still fighting for one more year of eligibility. He is. Will he get that? I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. If he does get it, he's probably going to be a very high draft pick next year and one of the top quarterbacks coming out of college next year. Now, anyways, if he does hit the portal, Lane Kiffin's 100% going to target him. 100%. You see how much success Trinidad had with Lane Kiffin and Lane Kiffin's offense. He already knows the Lane Kiffin offense. You're gonna have Charlie Weiss at LSU. Trinidad's currently playing with Charlie Weiss, obviously at Ole Miss. He's played with him all season. This is a guy who I still don't think you've seen his ceiling. Is his ceiling as high as others? Probably not, because he's a little bit older and he has more playing days than some of the other. But I I think you still have a ceiling that you can reach there, especially surrounding him with a lot of talent that you can get in at LSU that you couldn't get in at Ole Miss. I think Trinidad Chambliss in an LSU offense with superstar receivers surrounding him, very good running back. If you could bring Keywan Lacey in or go target like a anyone in the transfer portal at running back, first off Trinidad Chambliss, he can go win a national championship. I'll go on and say that. I will go on and say that if you put Trinidad Chambliss and Lane Kiffin together at Ole Miss, you have a very good shot at winning a national championship just based off the chemistry that they already have. So I'm not gonna go too much into it, but that is just another candidate. And if he does enter, I think it's probably one of the more likely ones if I had to guess or if I had to predict. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you did enjoy this and you're an LSU fan, I would greatly appreciate if you did drop a subscribe to the channel. Lots of LSU content coming, um, especially as we figure out what's going on at quarterback. This is very interesting, and LSU is definitely the biggest player in the market, I would say, with a new, really amazing head coach. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there because there's multiple different directions that they can go as we discussed in this video. So yeah, stay tuned for all those videos and hope you guys have a good new year, like I said. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.